two teams, and God knows what happens against Method, and we have no idea what's going to come out of them.
Well, that's exactly it, because nearly half their squad has been replaced as a result of visa issues. I think it's important to mention as well, as you can see there just before, we are about to kick into the first round, but third map will be Cobblestone. That is a map that Cloud9 have a lot of success on. They beat the likes of Luminosity, Renegades, Liquid on that map, whereas for G2, honestly, it's a map that I honestly thought they would probably just stay clear of. Either way, we are live into the action here between G2, Kinguin, and Cloud9. G2 going to be starting off on the CT side after winning the knife round and have kicked things off with a bang with shots, landing 2 headshots with a P2000. Shroud answers back with 2 of his own, however. And keep this round pretty even. That's up until a point that Smiths comes through. And a full house of frags, 3 for Shocks, 2 for Smiths. G2 Kinguin bagged themselves another pistol.
That was a really chaotic round from C9. A lot came down to Shocks. Not only because of his 3 frags, but he stayed alive for so long in Connector. He basically drew 3 players from Cloud9 on him, which basically allowed Smiths to just flank from Popdog, I believe. So super good performance from him. In the end, 3 kills, obviously a big impact on the whole round. But I just wanted to touch on the movement that he had and being able to stay alive in Connector.
Charging straight through the smoke with the MP9, going to get up in the face, up in the grill of Cloud9. And he does deliver 2 fatal blows, but Skadoodle's going to answer back. And they did have that MP9 for a fleeting moment, I should say, before they were sprayed down from Smiths. The Penguin are going to elect that second round for themselves. Now Cloud9 will likely be onto a couple of upgraded pistols and not a great deal else.
Let's see if Cloud9 can have a better T side than they had on Cash. Train is actually a map where you can have a lot of T rounds as well, but it all depends on momentum, I would say, on Train especially, because you can just kind of play mind games with the other team with rushes from team main, and if one of them ends up being successful, they're not gonna be too happy about it from there on.
It's just easy peasy round again for G2 Kinguin. The fact that Cloud9 didn't really come into much, and G2 Kinguin have all the farming that they'd need. The MP9 gets a bunch of frags, and they are probably going to jump out the MP9 and the MP7 into assault rifles as the AKs will be coming in. His Shocks, just seeing the spray down, 3 kills at the end for him.
Just a bit of a detail, Shocks picked up 5 kills with the SMG in the last 2 rounds, and I think he had almost 8K after that last round. So he's going to have a lot of money, and Cloud9 will probably take at least 2 rounds to break him.
I'm interested here because G2 Kinguin had enough funds to replace those SMGs, but they've kept both of them.
Well, they didn't keep one. I think Shocks dropped his. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely. He didn't die, so he definitely had to rebuy his, or somebody else picked it up. I'm not sure. Maybe Scream did. But yeah, it is interesting to see.
Surely you know Cloud9 have assault rifles now, so the MP9 and MP7 are not going to be anywhere near as deadly and potent against armor. The only player that could be susceptible to getting tapped quickly is Skadoodle, has a lack of head armor, but I suppose if you just go right up ramp and get 2 kills for yourself in quick succession, that doesn't really prove to be an issue. So, good work by G2 Kinguin. And now Cloud9 back to the wall. We said this is a map they'd struggle on, starting off the T side, especially so. Look at Envious, for example. Their T-side of Train is formidable. It is a real terror. So it is possible, as you said, to get a bunch of frags. The Molotov kill onto RPK is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. It shouldn't really finalize anything for Cloud9. Skadoodle, the man on fire right now for Cloud9, is left alive with an AWP. 33 seconds. He has a bit of time to play with. The issue is the bomb is dropped behind him, so he's going to have to reverse back to pick that bomb up and then back. So it's like 5-10 seconds worth of time. And he gets picked off anyway by Smiths. So G2 Kinguin looking good.
And one of the G2 players, I think Scream it was, actually picked up the op from Skadoodle as well. So that means they're going to have a double op set up for free pretty much. Only buying one of them. And we can see the money is just flowing in for G2. Shocks. Oh, he actually bought an MP9, I believe.
Reading the situation again. Yeah. He assumes that it is going to be no Kevlar.
Yeah. It's still an interesting situation to be in. And an interesting buy. Seeing as after this round, they're probably going to have a full buy. Seeing as they did lose 4 rounds in a row.
And there we go. He puts the MP9 to good use. The first kill goes his way. Well, he will have to back away from the ramp. Again, it's an expendable weapon. You lose the MP9, who cares? Easy rebuy. He's got 10K replenishing that weapon, no worries whatsoever. He can dry his tears with his $100 bills. There we go. M4 right back in play. Cloud9. I know it's early days, only 5-0. Don't get too carried away, but they have been convincingly repelled so far on the CT side.
Yes, definitely. And again, their cash T side wasn't very convincing. 3 gun rounds, I think it was. Now, again, Smiths. Really nice play from him, even though Skadoodle actually replies on the teammate that he had there, RPK. So a good trade here. I think this could favor Cloud9 for once. Usually it does favor the T side, seeing as G2 now have to spread the defense thin. And they actually have 3 players on the A bomb site. And it's going to depend on where C9 end up going.
Certainly will. Cloud9 need to start landing those entries. That's what saw them get so much success over on Cash. They really haven't had that much luck so far in this game. Get wrecked. Looking at Steam. There we go.
A bit of a hiccup there. But we're back in the game. Again, nothing really mentionable happened. So
Yep. We don't have bars, though, which is a bit of an issue. Production, if we could get on that, would be awesome. They can't see the player's HP or anything like that on the side.
it is 4v4, though, as we can see. Freakazoid, he should turn around.
There we go.
He doesn't see him. He actually passed the player on top of the train right there. So it's going to be interesting for Existence. He's probably going to notice the bomb. But Freakazoid could do a lot of damage here.
Thing just hidden. But it's Existence on top of the train who gets the upper hand onto Skadoodle. Shroud answers back again, but this may not be good enough for Cloud9. Shroud is so low.
15 seconds too.
Exactly.
And the bomb is on top of the train as well.
That's it. And it's in a really dodgy position to go up because it allows Shocks to just spray down. Yes, Freakazoid gets the kill, but they know where he is. They know the time. There's no reason for Smith to peek this. It will be another round going the way of G2 Kingwin and Cloud9. They had the opportunity there.
It was basically just really unfortunate from Freakazoid that he didn't turn or check the train. Obviously, the same goes for Existence. He just didn't he didn't notice the player that was right below him, who was Freakazoid. So it was a little unfortunate for Freakazoid to miss that, and it could have changed a lot, since he could have gotten a lot more information just based off of Existence on top of that train. So still not a bad round from Cloud9 overall. At least it was competitive this time, but they need to get a few rounds on the board.
Well, that's exactly it. You can get competitive all you want, but at the end of the day, the win is a win. That's all that matters. So Cloud9 need to start converting some of these chances into rounds, otherwise he's going to quickly slip away. Stu2K will get the drop on Shocks, who went for the aggressive push. I just wonder if maybe Train's going to come more to the forefront of Cloud9 because they have Stu2K and they have that extra entry fragging power. Good round so far from Cloud9. Again, though, Smith is alive, and he will be the last remaining counter-terrorist. Time to play with, but the bomb is going to go down in the next few moments. So Smith's traversing his way through CT side.
Nothing did hear him, though. It should be a... Whoa!
For a second, I thought he had that. Not necessarily the clutch, but the frag onto nothing. I thought he could have bagged that one himself. But Cloud9 finally get themselves on the board. Now, it's so important. It's of paramount importance that they do not let this slip. They keep the momentum going forward. They've just cancelled their round loss bonus. So if they lose this, they're back into a horrible situation. G2 Kingwin could completely neutralize Cloud9.
They do have a little bit of money on in bank. I think Shroud had 4K, Stewie had about 2. But still, it wouldn't be a good buy in the following round if they do end up losing this one. So a very important round for Cloud9, and they also have to survive in a lot of people for them to build up a bank to be able to buy up once again, especially if they lose the op. So it's going to be a hard round for them and a very important one as well.
Standard plays from G2 Kingwin. Sometimes you'll see teams go to aggressive defense up and towards the team main side, but very passive on Ivy. RPK will land himself the kill. Meanwhile, there is a player in Popdog as well, so G2 Kingwin are having a pretty decent idea as to where the remaining terrorist stragglers could be. Stu2K up on ramp is going to try his best, but that flashbang totally wrecks him, and Scream will put him down with authority. Lands the second dink as well. So Shroud was only one bullet away from death, and suddenly it's all on the aforementioned AWP for Cloud9. Skadoodle, flick of the wrist. Gonna have to live up to that AWP's name here if he wants to get anything done. And you have to feel it's only a matter of time before he gets killed by A G2 Kinguin member, most likely shocks.
Scuttle coming in with the... Oh! At least
Hello.
that one. That means a plant as well.
Yeah, that secures the bomb plant, so that's economy moving forward. And Shroud, sorry, Skadoodle, I should say, now in a position where he can say, come at me, bros. Now I don't have to worry about aggressing, I just have to worry about defending. But sometimes the best form of defense is a strong offense, and that's exactly what Skadoodle's done. Lands the next frag, and the next one as well. This could be a 1-4v4 clutch. Oh, he's pulled it off! What the hell's happening? I was looking at a corpse. I have no idea what those frags were. I'm so sad right now. But Skadoodle, you are an absolute beast. Take a bow. I just wish I'd seen that.
Yeah, I really, really want to see that from his point of view.
It's so anticlimactic.
Look at the grins on Stunner's face. Skadoodle with the 1v4. G2 obviously making a big mistake there. I think RPK was the one to come out on top of the train and just get him picked up by Skadoodle. But at the same time, his movement was awesome in that position. He moved around the site, and nobody was covering that angle. So he had the best chance possible. It could mean that Cloud9 are gonna start getting into this.
That's the kind of moment of inspiration you're looking for that really G's players up. Especially when you look at entry fraggers, it just takes a bit of confidence, a bit of momentum to shift your way and suddenly anything's possible. I'm waiting for the tears, by the way. I'm waiting for those tears. There's going to be so many you could drown in them. G2 Kinguin will be reeling after that body blow from Skadoodle. Just body checks everybody. A 1v4 clutch. You did not see it happening. A first kill on Shock. Shox probably should have had him. Either way, speaking of Shox, he is now in a 1 versus 4 himself. Maybe he can return the favor with this P250. Nice headshot, goes for the AK, picks it up as well. And somewhat escaping this scenario. Can't keep it though. And Cloud9 pick up their 3rd round of train. Kinguin's economy still isn't great, but it isn't going to afford them an AWP.
Meanwhile, look at Cloud9's economy. 2K, 4K, I think 7K on Skadoodle, who survived, I think, in all 3 rounds that Cloud9 won. So a lot of bank on him. Yeah, 7K, 4K on and 0 on nothing. Still kind of stuck in the PGL mindset. 0 from Hellraisers, obviously. But yeah, that's obviously nothing once more. A lot of bank on Cloud9's side, so that means even if they were to lose the next round, they would be able to buy again.
Again, though, as I mentioned, the economy from G2 Kinguin hangs in the balance. Cloud9, this is their moment to strike, to get themselves that golden ticket back into this game. RPK, who's a formidable guy, he's quite an intimidating guy, he's the bouncer, and he's not allowing anyone to get in. Finally, though, Skadoodle, he's going to glass him upside the head and take him down. And now Cloud9 have 3 players who have all been performing today. Skadoodle on 16, of course, that ridiculous clutch. 1v4, you always love to see it, or not, as the case may be, Kappa. I think he's going to be moving in to the site right now. The bomb in the hands of Skadoodle, and it's 16 HP. And now he finds himself only 1 of 2 players remaining. Him and Shroud have it all to do. Smiths is looking towards the ramp. 35 seconds. Surely not. Skadoodle, you can't rinse and repeat what you did earlier.
Not with 16 HP, I don't think.
Not in these positions as well. I just can't see it happening. G2 have this on lock. There we go. Shox in a very similar position as last time, but whereas last time he was kind of caught off guard in the sense he didn't have any cover. He didn't have anyone having his back. This time he knew that Smiths was watching from connector, and therefore it was a pretty simple shutdown from G2 Kinguin.
Still not the greatest finances on G2's side. Still about up to 2,000, I believe. So still not out of the woods. But at the same time, they have 7-3, so they have definitely room to work with. They can afford to lose a few rounds, while Cloud9, exactly the opposite.
Starting to go back into, I think, more of their desperation mode, which is just raw entry. And that's the issue for an app like Train. If you're not that well versed on it, you sometimes do fall into that trap. You've just gone, okay, we've got Shroud, we've got Freakazoid, we've got Skadoodle. Street2K is very aggressive, let's just say screw it, let's just rush at them. And the issue with that is that G2 Kinguin, I said this is like a sleeper OP map for them. You look at their stats, not particularly great, but then you look at who they've played against and how close they've taken those teams and just narrowly lost. and you realize, okay, G2 King would know what they're doing on the CT side. Cloud9 are consistently going to get shut down. And keep in mind as well, this is kind of skewed. They got 2 rounds off the back of that Skadoodle ridiculous clutch. So in another day, you're looking at a 10-1 scoreline.
It would have been, yes. It's just it's pretty apparent to me that Cloud9 don't have too much on this map. You couldn't see any smoke off strats so far. They were literally just working off of picks or the Skadoodle highlights. So there's nothing really going on from the Cloud9 side. I did expect it to be looser and kind of individualistic, but at the same time, you need those smokes on train, especially the A smoke off, and obviously B as well. But there's only two choke points, and it's not that hard to actually smoke them off. But yeah, Cloud9 definitely need to get the entries to be able to do anything, it looks like. And once more, I don't think they have that.
No, certainly not, especially as G2 Kinguin are locking them down with good smokes and Molotovs, so it kind of isolates players from one another. So you can get the crossfires down. If Freakazoid goes in by himself, as good as he is at entering, you can't 1 versus 3 people in different angles. It just doesn't work in Counter-Strike. This is like a 1 in a million play. So you really are flipping a coin and hoping for the best. But as I mentioned, that Freakazoid and Nothing wait for the smokes to clear. They wait for their opportune moment to strike and will connect the headshots. This is a great round from Cloud9. Again, if they can pick up 6 rounds, maybe they can turn this into a victory. A 2-0 whitewash over G2 Kinguin. But Smiths is still alive and looking to take up from where Skadoodle left off a few rounds prior. 100% of his HP is intact. The bomb is about to get planted. I believe that's the Ivy side of A. And the simple question for G2 Kinguin is, do you even want to go for this retake? You just want to save the AWP, no scope onto Stewie. They know where he is, but do they really want to chase onto him? Cloud9's economy is not great either. They can't afford to throw away any more weapons here chasing down the AWP. I'm going to play passive. And for me, that's smart. Just take the round. Play safe, play steady, get more weapons into the next round, and try and take the 9-6 halftime. Yeah,
they shouldn't lose any more guns. They're still not going to be too great going into next round. They have to rebuy 2 guns, which means 2 of the surviving players will probably... Wow, Shroud just wrecking Smiths.
Slam dunks him.
Teabag him.
Damn. Teabag slam dunk. That sounds like it would hurt Shroud more than his adversary. You want to go love plums first to the ground?
No, not really.
Nope. Especially at my weight,
yeah.
it'd explode.
Oh, wow.
Not in a good way. Wait, what?
Nah. Wait.
Anyway.
I'm not sure if I want to picture that.
Don't lie. It's going to just creep in when you least expect it.
Okay.
That was also kind of a bit dark. Anyway, here we go. Cloud9 are going to be moving through onto Ivy, and RPK's boost is more than enough to deal with Nothing. So they have changed up their defense. Now you're seeing more of an asymmetric defense from G2 Kinguin and an aggressive play on Ivy. And that's the problem. When you go for these raw entry fragging kind of strats, if you get shut down straight away, then that's it. What can you do? You have to fall back onto strats, but you don't really have any.
That's what I was talking about. Once they don't get the entry, this is a really bad matchup for Cloud9 overall. I think they're up against a team that has really good, really good CT setups.
Well, here we go. Can they get the entries on? Well, the defensive frags, I should say, really now, seeing the bomb has been planted onto B. G2K will take down Scream with ease. Him and Shroud remain 2 very capable players. Existence picked off by Shroud. Oh, Shroud with a double. You cannot get... Oh my goodness, this is actually doable now. Smiths is going to be facing off against a low Shroud, but look at the positions from Cloud9. This is incredible if they pick this off. This could be the moment where they bring this back in their own favor. And Smiths, so much time is going down. He's going to try and USP his way to victory. But even if he gets this kill on Shroud, he then has G2K to contend with, and nowhere near enough time. Cloud9 have done it. That was a 2v4 hold.
Shroud was just playing with his food there. That was so amazing to watch. You could see him just running around the train, depending on where Smiths was. He just didn't give him a shot anywhere. I didn't see how he got the previous 3 frags, but the way he moved around the train against Smiths was just amazing. Great movement from him, great positioning, and a couple of frags don't hurt, obviously.
The Cloud9 could be on the brink of getting that 9-6 scoreline that we mentioned earlier. That would give them a real hope, a real shot of bringing this back, especially on CT side. I think the T side is where they're going to struggle the most on this map. But if they start playing super aggressive on CT side, and we know they have a tendency to do that, it could be walking into the firing squad of G2 Kinguin.
Yes, they definitely need this last round, and then it could be competitive. Even the 5 rounds is probably doable, especially if they do pick up the the pistol round as well, the second one. So still a very important round to close off this half.
Split up attack from Cloud9. We've seen this a couple times. Player on Ivy now starting to congregate around bathroom and upper, respectively, with the bomb. Skadoodle will open things off and Shroud as well, so G2 Kinguin get a bit too antsy and will be punished for their over-aggression. Molotov's going to bounce off the door onto the site. This is a tried and tested Molotov. Everybody knows it to stop that defuse. Can be used aggressively as well to force someone out of position. RPK with 2 kills is going to keep this round still alive for now. But he will find his demise, and Cloud9 pick up the 6th round, and I'm actually impressed by that. I honestly thought that G2 Kinguin would just run away with this map. It's not the case.
I thought the same. G2 kind of gave away a few entries, especially now on the B side. They were way too aggressive. And as we said, C9 have a problem when they don't get the entries. So once you don't give them a few entries, they don't have anything else to fall back on. They don't have too many strats. Look at that existence with this paper, probably full of strats, probably full of information on the other players. We know existence to be very well prepared.
Oh yeah, very much so.
So probably one of his many A4s filled with information.
And that's the thing as well. You have a very different style of leadership between the two teams, because maybe Nothing has taken that upon himself now to be that guy who's super into researching teams, coming up with a strat book and such. But he strikes me as more of the guy that's going to just call on the fly, like his gut sense.
Yeah, definitely. Nothing has always been kind of a how would I say it? Let's see. I don't want to flame him too hard. No, but he has been a really kind of hit and miss, in the sense that whenever he feels like something, he's just going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to lurk once, then try to get an entry here, trying to get an entry there, or just going to bait a player. He's just a very he's a very weird player to me. He did make it work at a few times, especially in those three grand final runs.
Damn Shroud. Existence just got sat down. Ooh, is that a jumping block headshot? Okay, well, that just happened. Nothing's going to be feeling that for a few weeks.
I guess so.
Right to the fields. Here come G2 Kinguin through Ivy. This, of course, will be called from Cloud9. They got vision on everybody. The bomb is there as well. Shox very nearly gets himself picked off from the staircase. In the meanwhile, is still alive for now. He needs somebody to come to his rescue, because Freakazoid hasn't pinned down. And there we go. Finally, it's Scream that comes around from behind and puts Freakazoid down out of his misery. Skadoodle, last player. Probably the player you'd want in this situation, and all things considered.
Wondering what he's doing right now. I mean, he could still save only a defuse, not an investment you really need in the following round, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
It could make a difference, obviously, but probably not too much.
That's it, exactly. I mean, it's $400, so it's worth a fair chunk, but at the same time, is it worth it when you're probably going to have upgraded pistols Kevlar? Maybe. Maybe they fancy their chances to get a couple kills and...
Yeah, defuse could make it work in the end, but with the new timers, I don't think the defuse is as needed as it used to be.
Agreed, for sure. 5
more seconds is a lot. I don't think people understand how much time that is.
Well, 5 seconds is exactly how much the defuse kit cuts off from the defuse.
Pretty much. So, in situations with the old bomb timers, where you wouldn't get the defuse without a kit, you would now. So, so it's we usually tend to see really prolonged retakes, and it doesn't really hurt the CT side really, because they have so much time and so many possibilities, and they don't even need to have a kit. And when they do, it's just so much better as well.
Well, we can see that what we expected to come to fruition has, that they went for a force buy behind the kit. Of course, Skadoodle's only going to get P250, so you can get an AWP as soon as possible for Cloud9 on their CT side. The rest of the team is rocking out Kevlar, apart from Shroud, who has himself the scout. And so far, he has been dropped down to 14. It's not looking particularly great for Cloud9, as they have taken 2 early casualties of war in round 17. Stewie2K with the CZ. We've seen this already on Fugly. He pulled off a couple of crazy shots with the CZ in very similar situations on Cash yesterday against Envious. And there is Stewie2K. Domes shocks, 2-on-3. 3 MP7s though. That's a lot of spray power from G2 Kinguin, one of which is going to be pointed in Nothing's direction until he falls down. Very similar to Stewie2K. And G2 Kinguin, as expected, will take the 5-round lead. Cloud9 are going to have to save this round. And to be fair, their economy is probably not going to be in great shape for the round after that either. If they want to go for the AWP, it may be a glass cannon or lacking a bunch of grenades.
Yeah, now we're gonna see another eco. A couple of kills, not that bad from Cloud9. Still a little bit of a damage cost to G2, but it's not too much. Obviously, it's a couple of SMGs.
Yep, so it's going to be a case of just line up, knock them down, very quick round, blink of an eye sort of stuff. Cloud9 tapping out of that round, not expecting to get anything out of it, and this is what I'm talking about. They can go for the buy, but if Skadoodle wants the AWP, it's going to be at the cost. I wish we could see if he actually goes for the AWP. It's going to be at the cost of Kevlar, and he'll be able to get like a smoke and a flash behind it, but that's pretty much it. So
I do think he needs it here, though. Yeah, he's definitely thinking about it. Yeah, there we go. We have an AWP on Skadoodle, a diffuse. Okay, that's the only one, so I can see that.
Understandable, but of course it goes without saying that this round could mean everything to Cloud9. If they lose this, they're looking at a 14-6 deficit potentially, and no solid buys. And the fact that Scream just runs by, the drive-by AK headshot takes out the AWP before it was able to do anything in this round. And there's still an MP7 in play, 2 MP7s in play make that. Stewie2K comes good. There's going to be nothing waiting for the push through the smoke. This is actually pretty good for Cloud9, but the player's behind them. He's lurking. That bomb has been dropped, but Smith is here. Is he going to go for a potential knife? He's going to pull that knife out, put it right between the shoulder blades, get shanked, Shroud. And although Smith gets killed afterwards, he is totally happy with that financial investment.
I think Smith just didn't have a choice there. It was obvious that he wanted to go for the extra money. I think he understood that there was no way he could have won that with, what, 28 health? Yeah. Let's see that again. Replay of the knife.
Get wrecked.
Poor Shroud. He had no idea.
Never saw it coming.
Nah. But yeah, Smith's very smart there. I think he knew it very well that there was no way he could win this. Not with an MP7. Because he couldn't afford to wait until somebody else showed up. He didn't have the weapon for it. Once he would start shooting, somebody else would turn around and there would have been no way. So the knife was definitely the way to go.
Yep.
1,500 in the bag as well. Not bad, not bad.
As opposed to a few $100s and then getting fragged instantly afterwards.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was a correct decision. You can see it boosted his economy significantly as well.
He had about 10,000, right?
Exactly. He would have had more than enough the AWP anyway, but of course that allows him to buy up in the future. On top of that, maybe an extra AK to drop for a teammate. But here we go, Cloud9 have another buy up. And nothing with double kills. He wasn't necessarily the highlight player for Cloud9 on Cash, but so far he has been pretty big for them. Another 2-on-2. Cloud9 have already taken 3 players in terms of damage, and those weapons will not be moving forward to the next round. Smith, the last remaining player, the Knifer. The Stalker from the previous round is all that remains. Shroud is not going to be...
He will.
Oh, he actually will end up getting burnt to a crisp. He gets the kill before dying.
Stewie, what are you doing? He actually gave him no way out. You can see a little bit of a grin from Shrouds too. Oh my God!
It's like that inner.
It could get really close, even though Smith's had about 20 HP.
It's that inner hatred, man. It's the FPL. Wants to make sure that Shroud can't get more points than this month.
I mean, he literally gave him no way out, but he had no idea. He probably had no idea that the fire spread out.
But he was calm under pressure because a lot of players would have panicked there. But Shroud was like, "Okay, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure I take him with me."
Exactly. That was well played by Shroud.
It's a good clarity of mind to put down the frag, but that was well. Bit of a clown moment there from Cloud9. A lot of people I've referred to them in the past. G2 Kingwin, though, into this round will be on upgraded pistols, and that is about it. Some Kevlar thrown around the mix. It's just to equalize the economy. Cloud9 are dragging their way back into this game slowly but surely. 9-6 halftime certainly helped, but things started to go sketchy at the start. They're 11-6 behind at one point, remember. They are still here. Not too much utility to play with. But surely with this weaponry advantage, this is a done deal. Or not, because Shox has a Deagle in his hands, and anything's possible. 3 Deagle kills in as many seconds. Is it going to be a 4th? Yes, it is, but it's going to be Scream's P250 that comes good. And just as I was writing off G2 Kingwin's hopes and dreams in round 21, it's turned into a nightmare for Cloud9. Stewie 2K, M4 in hand, last remaining player, must be scratching his head wondering what the hell just happened to the rest of his team. And he just wants to probably save this. There's no reason to charge in on his own. He's got a kit, he's got an M4, just keep that going forward. Cloud9, dearie me. I mean, the other side of the coin, of course, is to say, well, Shox landed 2 crazy one-taps.
Yeah, exactly. Shox just went ham with the Deagle. It has become a really strong weapon. Because the CZ75 and Tech9 have been so overpowered, then we didn't really see Deagle coming into play because everybody was buying those 2 weapons when they were overpowered at different points in time. Oh wow, Shroud.
Even with the crouch shot as well, and then just Muller's nothing.
3 1Ds, I'm guessing, because Existence had one more somewhere there in the mix.
And then Scream P250 somebody else in the head as well. So there's consecutive frags. Just as I was starting to build Cloud9 up, I was like, okay, here we go, Cloud9, here's your chance, here's your platform, and then it just gets cut from underneath them. Yeah. Now we can see the detrimental effect that has on Cloud9's economy as well, Striker. Just the 1 M4 that was saved from Stewie, rest of the team is going to try and emulate Shox. Well, actually just Freakazoid has a Deagle, no one else has too much to play with. So you'd assume that Cloud9 concede a 14th round. And then G2 Kingwin are right there, poised to take us to a 3rd map. Again, it's going to be Cobblestone, which you'd heavily favor Cloud9 to pick up, but who knows? Just have to wait and see. Cloud9 have lost the first player, Freakazoid. I think Striker just drop-kicked the PC again.
It's not a PC. I have no idea what that is.
What is it? The table?
I don't know. I don't know
I felt the desk actually, like, physically move. I thought there's an earthquake or something. Stewie 2K has banked himself a kill, actually, so maybe going to play Operation Save the M4 for Cloud9. And there are 2 of them in play right now for the NA team. Shox is on the prowl for a kill, but RPK will steal that notch and put it on his belt instead. It'll be a decent save here if Cloud9 can keep these 2 M4s. It bolsters their economy somewhat.
Yeah. A couple of kills will definitely help. And Stewie managing to save a gun. Oh, actually, they saved 3 guns in the end.
Yeah, that's
so that's
huge.
going to help them hugely. Look at that. They can actually buy up almost fully. I think 2 players will only have pretty much just the guns and vests, maybe a flash here and there. But the 3 players that save their guns, they're going to be able to buy up fully. They will not have an AWP though, which is going to be definitely a struggle against the double AWP from Shox and Smiths.
That's still a huge success, because if they don't save those 3 M4s, you can see what their economy would have looked like. It would have been shocking.
They would have had no utility at all.
Absolutely.
They would have had bad, probably FAMASs with vests and no utility.
Well, 3 M4s is nearly 10k worth of equipment right there, so it's money in the bank for Cloud9, but they have to do something with this. It's all good saving 3 M4s. If you lose this round, you're still on pretty much a knife edge, a razor's edge, I should say. But they have opened up round 23 with 2 kills without losing any HP in the process. So very well done from Cloud9 in the early stages here. Terrorists undeterred by this, going to try and push RPK and Shox through Ivy side. Play to their right-hand side. That's going to be Shroud. Can he get the spray? We've seen him get taken out before from here. And on the other side, it's going to be Shox again. This time, it's not a Deagle. It's an AWP. And he's put it to use once more. Cloud9. You can't afford to lose any more weapons. You not only have to win this round, but you've got to win it clear from now. Nothing behind the train. He's going to be waiting for a potential terrorist to push. Unbeknownst to him, though, all the terrorists are going to be coming from his backside. RPK smoking out connector, which is where 2 players could have came from the CTs. That's going to leave nothing, isolated on his own for the next 10, 15, 20 seconds. What can he do from behind green train? 25 seconds. If he plays his cards right, he could be the savior for Cloud9. First kill goes down in his favor. Bomb has been dropped as well. He did spot that. That is huge for Cloud9, but can they finish it off? It's going to be on Shox. First kill goes down. It's a 1 versus 2. The bomb is in front of him, and he could potentially just stick the plant, but he's going to fake it out instead. Very nearly lands the no-scope, goes back in for seconds once more, and very well played from Cloud9, both peeking him at the exact same time, not allowing him to get the 2 1 versus 1s.
Yeah, very well played. But at the same time, they shouldn't have even come to that point, but still, very well played towards the end. Obviously, there's going to be a few mistakes against Shox, just the wrecking with the op. It's really hard to play against that player, but as we can see, that op from the last round actually hurt him for this one. So we can see him only on a P250 and a vest, while the rest of the team actually has a pretty good bio overall.
The thing again for Cloud9 is that they've lost the first player in a round and super early on. So right off the bat, the information grabbing attempt has failed. The recon has slipped away.
They did know about the 3 players, I believe, so there's some information there.
They're so early, though, Striker, they can easily just rotate back around, so is it worthwhile? Oh, hello. Freakazoid. Cheeky.
Yeah. Great of Freakazoid to understand that Shox could have been there. Check that angle.
Freakazoid does drag a kill back, but then GT Kingwin just come back out again. Oh, Freakazoid with 2 kills with the AK. Skadoodle's there as well. Existence, the last player, had a bit of a poor performance on Cash overall, was the bottom fragger by considerable margin. But of course, he is the in-game leader, so you can kind of let him off somewhat. Pushing around with the AK-47, 40 seconds left. Spots himself the player, gives his position away, and that should be all she wrote, and indeed it will be. Cloud9 bagged themselves their 10th round, keeping themselves in this game. G2 Kingwin have to eco.
You know, the money doesn't look good on G2's side. They should probably full eco. I don't think they have a choice in this. They will not get an op, I don't think, in the following round, but if they do eco fully, which they do. Actually, Shox has a deagle and a small vest. I'm wondering how much money he has left. But
he had about 3.8k going into this round.
That's fine.
So I think he's equalized versus them.
But then again, he just fell. So yeah, nothing coming out of that.
Oh, I can do. No, I'm dead. Okay.
You can't blame him for trying just because of the last round.
Especially after he landed those crazy one taps like 4 or 5 rounds ago, which really put Cloud9 on tilt for a little while.
Yeah, you can't blame him for that, for trying.
Cloud9 have stabilized and are looking good for an 11th round. P250s. In order of the day, they line up. Freakazoid very nearly knocks them down, but the rest of his team stands tall and avenges him. So Cloud9 do pick up their 11th round. G2 Kingwin have a decision to make now. They can get a pretty solid buy-up, of course, but
I do think they will, because it was a quasi-buy. It was obvious that they want to buy in the following round. If they didn't, they would have probably just force bought completely. Maybe with Smiths leaving some money for himself for the op, but we can see a really good buy from G2 actually, not including an op. A little bit of a missed opportunity there, but nothing they can do about that. Still 5 AKs, a lot of utility, pretty much 5 smokes and a lot of flashes as well, even a Molotov in there. So it's definitely a good enough buy.
The decision that I was thinking of, though, is do they want to try a fast B play? Because they haven't really done this so far with smokes and like executing on, but if Skadoodle continues to land shots from Catwalk, that may be answered for them. And Smiths goes down by himself, and again, we talked about this on Cash. Sometimes players going out and being isolated. Freakazoid will get the drop on Shox from Popdog, and this is just the screws tightening around G2 Kingwin. And it can't feel pleasant. Screen is going to try and explode out of Popdog and kick a couple of players down into the dirt, but it's not going to be going his way. And we are going to have a timeout coming through. And the timeout for G2 Kingwin. So clearly feeling the pinch somewhat, feeling like, okay, we're getting a bit stale here, guys. We need to put our brains together, take some momentum away from Cloud9, who I feel are a very momentum-based team at the best of times. So for me, this is the right time to call this timeout. They've got about $3,000 between their entire team, so they're not going to have obviously a force or a full buy here.
I don't think they will buy, because even a solid buy like that didn't work out. I don't think they're going to risk it again. They have a little bit of a cushion. They have they're 2 rounds ahead, if I'm not mistaken. 14-12.
Yep.
So they still have that 1 round cushion that they can still use. They just want to talk about it before they go into eco. Maybe have a little bit more time in the eco, as we actually know Existence to do this quite a lot in the trying to take timeouts in ecos. Oh, look at that. Oh well. Couple of highlights here. This is the Shox Deagle that we were talking about. Yeah.
This was the play when Cloud9 were right on that moment of stabilizing, and then the rug was just pulled from underneath their feet from Shox. And I think also there was a 1 tap from was it Existence as well with his Deagle? I'm not entirely sure, but
this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit, because Existence, I'm not sure why he at least wouldn't expect an Opera to be there. Obviously, you can't know if he's there. Skadoodle just rotates around in between rounds, so it's not easy to call where he's going to be. But still, peeking like that on highway isn't the best option for him. So that's something that I was a little bit surprised about, because they had a lot of smokes. They could have basically had a full-on B attack with smokes, with flashes, even a Molotov in the mix. So not entirely sure what the idea was behind that.
Well, for me, I said this before, we haven't really seen a fast, explosive execute on B. We're throwing the smokes over from upper, landing around connector, smoking off catwalk, smoking at the back of trains. This is an execute that a lot of teams do. VP in particular are very good at doing this on the B side. So I would quite like to see that happen. Then you neutralize the AWP. Skadoodle goes up on the catwalk. He can't get anything done anyway. So obviously that's not going to happen in this round, because they don't have the utility or the grenades or weapons to use it. But
5 Deagles.
Effectively a deco in effect now. Been a long time since somebody else say that.
Oh, yeah.
But Kinguin are going to be running with the Deagles, and we thought they were capable of doing last time, so anything is possible. But I really would like to see that be execute when they have weapons next.
Shroud is in a very dangerous position here.
Certainly is. The problem with this position is if they have the Deagles and you miss that first shot, you are absolutely screwed most of the time. But I think he's going to be okay. No, he missed the second shot. Shox just pushes straight through. Nothing's there to get the trade, but to be fair, when you consider the weapons, that's not really a worthwhile endeavor. Cloud9 looking to pull this back for themselves, though. And that was looking really sketchy for a couple moments.
Like, imagine if he actually had the chance to get the op. Suddenly he would give away an op, and that's the whole round switches completely from a couple of Deagles to an op and a couple of Deagles. So, not sure if Cloud9 even knew that G2 are not going to have a buy. So, because I don't think Shroud would have went for that play if he knew about G2's economy, and that falls onto the leader as well. He's usually the one supposed to be able to call what kind of a buy the other team's going to have.
I suppose that maybe the timeout made them second guess themselves, because typically if a team times out, you're expecting like, what strat are we going to do next round?
Yeah,
exactly.
Actually
it's more the longer haul.
That's true. But at the same time, we could see most of the teams actually use that for a round like this, for like a deco or something. Maybe to mess with their heads as well, but it's actually not uncommon.
Absolutely not. I was thinking we may see a B play, but actually it's a fast A play instead, mainly through Team Main and Popdog. The bomb has been dropped in a horrendous position for G2 Kinguin, though. Right outside of connector. It's a huge frag for Scream. He needed to land that, and now it's on Shox. He has been the man on form for G2 Kinguin here. So many impact kills, and he's going to get the drop onto Stewie. 50 seconds left. He still has time to maybe take this ball. Oh, he just goes for the spray down instead, and nothing lines up for him. G2 Kinguin get the clutch and move to 2 map points on train. And I thought when Scream whiffed his opportunity, that was it. I thought Cloud9 had that.
Same.
But not the case.
They didn't care about their flanks. I think nothing went from Popdog. I think he pushed up from the B side. And I don't think anybody was covering that, because nothing was allowed. 2 free kills from behind. But Shox with the 1v2.
Absolutely. So Cloud9, the simple state of affairs is you have to win the next 2 rounds, or we go to Cobblestone. It's the aggressive push I was talking about, and this could be at the perfect time. Stewie, now is the time to earn your place, and it's not going to happen. He whiffs a couple of shots. I mean, there's strength in numbers from G2 Kingwin, but this is looking like it's it. This is looking like we are going to be heading to Cobblestone, unless Shroud can pull off yet another miraculous play, and it's not going to happen. G2 Kingwin take it 16-13. That was a hell of a lot closer than I expected it to go. Cloud9 on train again. They're not the best team in the world, it's safe to say. GT Kingwin, that was laboured. They got to the end, the finish line, but they were crawling there.
Yeah, same here. We didn't expect Cloud9 to even be competitive on this map at the start, especially after the T side. That was really underwhelming from Cloud9. Same as on Cash, their CT side was actually pretty good. So they actually made it pretty close in the end. Although, I want to get back to on the last round, because we saw Stewie kind of messing around on the top of the train. And he dropped down without even getting a few shots off. He had a free frag there, most likely.
He was like caught in two minds. He's on the ladder. Do I go up? Do I stay down?
Yeah, he got a little bit panicky, I think, there. So a little bit of a mistake from an experienced player, like inexperienced, I should say, like Stewie 2K. Obviously, it's going to happen from time to time. He needs this experience. He needs to be able to be calm in every situation. So he's going to get there in time, I'm sure. But it's a bit of a detail that I think could have changed a lot about the round, because he could have gotten a kill. And maybe then fall back, and then it's a 5v4 instead of a 4v5, and it's a whole lot different. So that's a bit of a mistake from Stewie, but nothing too huge. Just like getting a bit panicky in a very pressured situation. Yeah.
All right, so let's have a look at some of the statistics, ladies and gents, to give you an idea of who the movers and the shakers were here on train. So, Skadoodle, I have a feeling that is for Cash. There we go.
No, there we go.
There we go. We're on train now. Shox. We highlighted him. We said he was the standout player for G2. The 1 Deegs was spectacular, but he was consistently just getting the frags. 29 and 20 deaths. A super important, influential performance from Shox, a man who was eerily quiet on Cash at times, but came good when needed. And Freakazoid, the standout player for Cloud9, with those entries, of course.
By the way, if RPK is the bouncer, who is Freakazoid?
Freakazoid's like the playboy. He's like at the bar having a couple of drinks, but he can handle himself. So you kind of like, I don't know, he's like the cocky guy,
Yeah, the muscly sexiness.
Well, you said it, mate. You said it. It's getting suddenly hot and tasty on the desk. Maybe we should get Freakazoid here instead of me, and you can have some fun.
Sure.
RPK, look at him. You would not want to bounce into him.
No.
You just wouldn't. So 22 for 20 for RPK. He had a much better performance, I'd say, on Cash. And Stewie, 11 for 18. Didn't have the greatest performance. Certainly not. But he was on B a lot of the time, and it can be quite an isolated bomb site. T, as you said, was a sketchy performance. It was 9-3 at one point, so it had a chance to actually slip out of control. And 50% headshot ratio. Not too shabby.
Yeah, not bad from RPK. He's just been a pretty stable player for G2, but he hasn't been a star, as we were used to seeing him in the beginning of CS:GO and kind of in Source as well. Everybody was calling him the king. I'm not gonna say that first word though. I think you already had that one yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, nothing here. 20 to 23. He had a really good performance on Cash, I believe. He had about 27 frags. Still very solid on train as well, 20 to 23. He had a few pretty good flanks on the CT side. We saw him having a really big impact from under the old heaven. He had a round there that I remember where he stayed alive for so long and was able to pick up a couple of frags. Nothing and RPK up against each other. These are not the best players, are they? At least not statistically.
No, I think the best was Shox and Freakazoid.
Here we go. Yep. So these are the statistically best players. I do think, Freakazoid had a couple of rounds as well, where he just, exactly like on Cash, bullied into the site, got a few kills, got the entries, which is the most important part. Yeah, the sniper matchup pretty much won by Smith, but then again, that 1v4 was really, really good from Skadoodle, and it actually gave them a chance in the future and on that map, because it kind of started off a 3-round streak, I believe, for Cloud9.
The thing is, though, that even though obviously Smiths comes out of this with 4 extra kills, he had 3 less AWP frags, so it shows that Skadoodle may be a bit too set in his ways with the AWP, not able to pick up the M4, not the AK and deliver. But then again, his team was really struggling on T side. He wasn't able to really get too much done as a result of them just getting battered and bruised. But either way, guys, I think we're going to cut to a quick commercial break while we wait for the players to get themselves readied. And we are going to have ourselves Cobblestone up next. So you don't want to go anywhere. This could be another very close